Coming up on this week's episode of The Splash. Neither rain nor shine could stop this year's 14th annual Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Then more road construction is underway in West Bloomfield. Find out what you can do to avoid it. And a local organization is celebrating their 75th year within the township through a weekend reunion. The Splash is a production of Civic Center TV. We're a news magazine that covers everything, from local news to feature stories, all so that we can bring you the latest from the greater West Bloomfield area. And now, let's dive into The Splash. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Splash. I'm your host, Jonathan Jackson, and as always, it's good to have you with us. West Bloomfield was once again home to the 14th annual Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, and Civic Center TV was there to help capture all of the morning's events, despite the less than favorable weather. This year's Orchard Lake Fine Art Show featured some of the best local talent in the township, right on the corners of Powers and Daly Road. The event was directed by Patty Narosny, who helped organize and employ hundreds of staff and volunteers for the event. Although the turnout was small at first, things slowly started to grow during the afternoon. And throughout the day, reporter George Moore and myself encountered many different artists and saw numerous works of art, both big and small. However, the weather was less than cordial throughout the early morning, but the entertainment and vendors more than made up for it, making this year's Orchard Lake Fine Art Show a spectacular one. And once again being voted as one of the top 100 art fairs in the country, with just under 150 juried professional artists displaying and selling their artwork. Plus, there was $2,500 in professional artist awards distributed as well. For those interested in participating or just wanting to see more professional artwork, why not save the date for the 15th annual Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, taking place next year on July 29th and the 30th. And if you'd like to see full coverage of this year's Fine Art Show, you can visit our website at civiccentertv.com/OLFAS-2016 and check out our stream on demand as well. The intersection at Orchard Lake and Maple Road has been through a lot over the years, from the West Bloomfield tornado to the construction now taking place at the Shell gas station. But now motorists are encountering a new problem when driving by. Here's The Splash's Carolyn Bond with the details.
I'm out here at the intersection of Orchard Lake and Maple Road, where major construction will be taking place. This is an important part for West Bloomfield's traffic flow for both business commuters and shoppers alike. We spoke with Craig Bryson, the Public Information Officer with the Oakland County Road Commission, for what's in store for the community.
We're adding dual left turn lanes for both northbound and westbound traffic at the intersection, as well as completely resurfacing the intersection, doing a few minor drainage improvements, and putting in new traffic, reconfigured traffic signals. It's all ultimately intended to help move traffic from where Northwestern Highway dead ends at Orchard Lake Road. Bringing all that traffic onto Orchard Lake Road creates a tremendous amount of traffic, so we want to move all of that traffic in a northwesterly direction. So moving it up Orchard Lake Road to Maple Road through the intersection, and adding capacity to that intersection will help move that traffic.
During construction, they plan to reduce the road to one lane in each direction with a center left turn lane for each direction. There won't be an official detour posted since these roads won't actually be closing, so if you plan to travel through this intersection, you may want to leave a few minutes early. Residents who are familiar with this area may have other route ideas in mind.
While congested traffic may occur in the coming months, we can look forward to great improvements at a major crossing point in West Bloomfield near the end of November. For Civic Center TV, I'm Carolyn Bond.
Thank you, Carolyn. We of course want to remind residents once again that driving along that intersection will more than likely cause some delays. So please be aware and prepared in case such a thing occurs. And if you'd like to find out more on these developments, you can visit the township website at wbtownship.org. Coming up, the Lake Improvement Association in Pleasant Lake celebrates 75 years of history within the community. Then on Sidewalk Talk, George Moore encounters some rather famous-looking residents. And later, I'll be talking with the woman who identified Flint's water crisis last year. Stay tuned.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Civic Center TV celebrates our region's natural beauty, proud history, tremendous accomplishments, and more with Another Angle, a series featuring a unique bird's-eye view of our area's landscape. Watch Another Angle on Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
Civic Center TV has gone social. Now it's easier than ever to watch, save, like, and share our videos online. See what's happening in your neighborhood, on the streets, and on the web at civiccentertv.com. Be a part of the conversation and get involved. We would love to hear from you. For links to our social media pages, visit us at our website or find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
The best way to know when shows debut on Civic Center TV is to become a member. It's absolutely free. We'll send you a regular newsletter with all the latest updates. Just go to civiccentertv.com and click the Members tab. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm your host, Jonathan Jackson. For 75 years, the Lake Improvement Association has inhabited the property around Pleasant Lake, and now they're celebrating through a reunion which included some of its founding members. The Splash's Tyler Kieft has more.
The greater West Bloomfield area is home to a multitude of dedicated organizations with a focus on community strength and growth and a commitment to creating a strong family atmosphere. The Lake Improvement Association of Pleasant Lake celebrated its 75th anniversary recently. On the shore of the lake, it's called home for nearly a century.
The community has started as a group of individuals, families, who wanted a summer experience for their kids. And it is a very wonderful place to be. It's a quiet, pastoral scene. It's country in the middle of the city. And it's the kind of community where people reach out and help each other and stay connected in a variety of different ways.
It was a group of friends that wanted to raise their children and to have a country place and to be together for the summer season. The grounds were taken care of in common so that the mothers and children all through the week were down there together, and so that the things that happened were happy things for both the adults and the children.
Over the past 75 years, the world around us has experienced profound change. But through evolving times, war, and economic struggle, the goals and traditions of this community have ceased to yield.
The goals are still to have a wonderful place to live and to have friends who are close by that we can be associated with.
We are fortunate to have many generations in this community where founders, the parents, their children, and their grandchildren have now, in a sense, resettled into our community. It's a small community, but one that we're very proud of and has a strong, positive tradition of helping, reaching out, and doing good things.
A community is essentially a collective of people working together to bring each other happiness and a sense of fulfillment. Over 7 decades and counting, this staple community within Greater West Bloomfield has done that, together, generation to generation.
Some of the happiest memories that I have are of joint things that we did together, watching the children grow and form relationships that were close. The kids always felt that they could go to their neighbor's house and ask, and they'd be given a cookie when they, and so that they had a sense of really caring for everybody and at an early age.
Over 3/4 of a century, the Lake Improvement Association of Pleasant Lake has cultivated an unrelenting sense of familiarity among its members, built a bridge between generations, and created a lifetime of happiness and memories. And that has given them plenty to celebrate on this anniversary. For The Splash, I'm Tyler Kieft.
Thank you, Tyler. And to see more from this year's celebration, you can visit civiccentertv.com/Pleasant Lake Reunion. We now move on to another of our Splash segments, Sidewalk Talk, where reporter George Moore talks with people in the greater West Bloomfield community.
Hi, George Moore for Civic Center TV and The Splash, out here on the streets of West Bloomfield, asking the questions we want to get answers to, particularly, what celebrity do people say you look like? This should be fun. A lot of people say I resemble Lou Gossett Jr.
You're better looking.
Thank you. But what celebrity do people say you resemble?
There's two.
My favorite is Tiffany Amber Thiessen of Saved by the Bell era.
Okay.
And Kirstie Alley.
Morris Chestnut.
I can see that. Although he's bald now.
Yeah.
Probably Snow White because I have like fair skin and dark hair.
I've gotten Valerie Bertinelli before.
I see that. That's who it was.
That's it. I've gotten Katie Holmes before.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Charles Barkley.
I see that.
Former basketball player. And also, someone says I resemble Martin Luther King.
It's the actress that played Penelope in the movie Penelope. I don't remember her name.
It's a rapper named Designer. A lot of people say I look like him. I mean, I don't think so. There's a lot of people who say it.
What celebrity do people say you resemble the most?
The cameraman just told me Ben Affleck, so I'm going to roll with that for the rest of my life. I'm happy with that one.
I've heard Ross Lynch a lot.
I see that.
Yeah.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
I see that.
Kim Kardashian, so I think people are just like taking bits and pieces of all of them and seeing maybe something in me, but...
And I've had people say, I think Stone Cold Steve Austin too, maybe, so.
The Austin I can see. I can see the Steve Austin. I'm going to get body slammed here any time now. Once again, greater West Bloomfield area, you come through like champs in answering the questions that we asked you. So we'll be out here again, so look for us. For Civic Center TV and The Splash, I'm George Moore. Sidewalk Talk.
Thanks, George. You know, I think most of our residents do look like those celebrities. I wonder who my doppelganger is. Well, if you have an answer for yourself, tweet it to us at civiccentertv.com or on our Facebook page. Tell me who you think I look like. But if you'd like to see even more Sidewalk Talk, well, you can check out those episodes at civiccentertv.com/Sidewalk Talk. Time now for a Civic Center event update. And to stay up to date on all the following current events, you can visit civiccentertv.com/events. So without further ado, let's get started. Journey back through time with the West Bloomfield Library to the land of dinosaurs, along with your tour guide, Paleo Joe, who will be there to help explain the language of fossils. The event takes place in West Bloomfield Library's meeting room on August 9th from 2 p.m. to 2:45, and everyone is welcome. On August 10th at 7 p.m., the Marshbank Music Series ends on a powerful note with Remedy, Detroit's most booked cover band. You'll have a great time listening to their popular cover tunes from the 60s throughout today, so come on out and join them for this last summer concert. An hour of mind-expanding music from the 1960s awaits you at the West Bloomfield Library on August 11th, starting at 7 p.m. You can listen to and discuss some of the most original music and lyrics in music history, resulting from experimentation with different genres, composition, and instrumentation. As Jefferson Airplane once instructed, feed your head. Everyone is welcome, and there's no need for registration either. Pleasant Lake Improvement Association History is the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society's open house theme on August 14th from 1 to 4 p.m. The event takes place at the Orchard Lake Museum, where there are area artifacts, historic photos, documents, a 17th century dugout canoe, and the original Kigo Cinema sign. Celebrate Temple Shir Shalom's 12th anniversary of food, fun, and fireworks. The festival begins on August 15th in the evening with family fun, food tastings, and games. Then later it will end with a spectacular fireworks display. Plus, over 30 local area restaurants and caterers will be on hand with their signature dishes. The prices are $25 per adult or $12 per child. At the Caregiver Support Group, there is a healthy balance between love, logic, and laughter. This occurs all while sharing one's experiences within a group setting, which enables caregivers to recognize the similarities within their experiences while also defining the uniqueness of their situation. The group will meet from 10 to 11:30 a.m. at Temple Israel on Tuesdays on August starting on the 16th. In order to register, call the Robert Sosnick Family Life Center at 248-661-5700. The Sylvan Lake Garden Club will host their annual ice cream social at the Sylvan Lake Community Center on August 18th from 6 to 8 p.m. Both community members, young and old, are encouraged to attend, and it's sure to be a great event as it is an excellent chance to meet members of your community and learn more about the Sylvan Lake Gardening Club. A potluck dinner of Jewish and Chaldean treats is being planned at the St. Thomas Chaldean Catholic Church on August 18th from 6 p.m. to 8:30, sponsored by the Social Action Committee of the Jewish Chaldean Building Community Initiative. Guests are asked to bring an appetizer or dessert to share, plus school supplies. You can RSVP by contacting committee co-chair Gail Katz at 248-978-6664 or Tarula Yono at 248-872-7013. Pack a blanket and gather the children to listen to and move to the Last Kids Commotion concert with Rick and Dana. Bounce houses will be available 1 hour prior to the entertainment for the evening concerts. And also make sure to bring some socks. The event will take place rain or shine in Marshbank Park on August 18th, starting at 7 p.m. For all you Tigers fans out there, listen up, because you can buy some tickets for an upcoming game on Saturday, August 20th at Kego Harbor City Hall. The cost is only $27.50 for reserved seats in the upper deck, which includes transportation. The bus leaves at 5:30 from Roosevelt Elementary School to Comerica Park for the 7:10 game against the Red Sox. If you have any questions, please call 248-225-6173 and ask for Dan Harrington. Why not relax and rejuvenate your mind with another fun movie-going experience at West Bloomfield Library on August 23rd from 7 to 8 p.m. The film discussion group will keep your thinking sharp and your reasoning agile as you wrap your mind around what unfolded on screen as you watch the film Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Come and join West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation for the day out at Marshbank Park for an old-fashioned picnic in the park. Live entertainment and sing-alongs will all be part of the event, along with summer fun in the sun. Because of the limited seating, though, please don't forget to bring your own blanket or chair. Also, smart transportation will be available upon request, and the event starts on August 25th from 11:30 till 2 p.m. and is for those 50 and older. Pre-registration is required, and the cost is $7 for residents and $9 for non-residents. Next up, Tommy Tune takes to the stage with dancing, singing, and storytelling on August 25th, starting at 7:30 p.m. Join in on Tommy's autobiographical stroll with him celebrating 50-plus years of showmanship. The evening features Tune's renditions of standards by Irving Berlin, Cole Porter, Johnny Mercer, Burt Bacharach, The Gershwins, Carole King, Green Day, and many more. Tickets start at $63, and for more information, you can go to theberman.org. Oakland County Animal Control Census Team coworkers are doing their best to verify compliance with Michigan State dog law that requires all dogs to have a valid dog license. Census workers will be driving marked county vehicles and wearing county uniforms with proper identification throughout the township from now until September 22nd. Be sure to have your pet validly licensed. And lastly, Henry's Market on Main will take place every Wednesday starting from now until November from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Located inside Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital, the Farmers Market will provide guests, employees, and the community with the opportunity to purchase fresh produce that is now locally grown. Well, that's all for now, but if you're looking to find even more events going on in your neighborhood, then be sure to follow us at civiccentertv.com/events and look up our events calendar. And as always, stay tuned right here for more information on everything going on in the greater West Bloomfield area. Time now for a quick break, but afterwards I'll be sitting down with Dr. Mona Hanna-Attisha, a resident of West Bloomfield and the woman who also discovered Flint's own water crisis last year. Stay tuned.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
I'm Kelly Waterfall for Civic Center TV. All around West Bloomfield, people are saying there's great, if not totally compelling programming on Civic Center TV. What's the best way to know when our newest shows debut? Become a member. It's absolutely free. We'll send you a regular newsletter with all the latest updates. Just go to civiccentertv.com and click the Members tab. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
Be sure to catch live coverage of Lakers sports, up-to-date information on local events, and of course, non-stop music on 89.3 WBLD, the all-new Lakes FM.
For years, Civic Center TV has been bringing you live coverage of local municipal meetings. The meetings are now available on demand at civiccentertv.com/meetings or watch the meetings again the following day on Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash, everyone. I'm Jonathan Jackson, and my guest on the show this week is Dr. Mona Hanna-Attisha. She's the director of Hurley's Pediatric Residency Program, a placeholder within Time Magazine's 100 Most Influential People of 2016, and a resident here within the township of West Bloomfield. So Dr. Mona, thank you for stopping by today.
Thanks for having me, Jonathan. It's great to be here.
Not a problem. Well, Dr. Mona, around this time last year is when you had started to notice that correlation between the lead levels in Flint and also the lead poisoning in children. And, you know, since then you've had a very busy year to say the least, but can you take us back to that moment last year when you had just started to notice this?
Absolutely. So it was almost exactly a year ago. It was August of 2015, and I was at my home here in West Bloomfield, and a high school girlfriend was over for dinner. And my girlfriend happens to be a water expert. She used to work for the EPA, and she's done a lot of water quality work. And she was asking me about how the water was going in Flint. And I'm like, you know, people are complaining, but the state tells us it's okay. I'm like, there's bacteria issues, and there's all these other issues. And then she shares with me that they forgot to add, or they neglected to add, corrosion control in the Flint water. And in the water engineering world, that's an absolute no-brainer. Every water treatment has to have corrosion control.
Exactly.
It's like a medicine that you put in the water to prevent the pipes from corroding.
Right.
And it was that night that she told me, without this medicine that you put in the water, there's a risk of lead getting into the water. And that was the very first time, about a year ago, that I heard the possibility of lead being in the water. We'd heard about bacteria and color problems and odor problems and all these other problems, but we never heard the word lead.
And that's a big no-no in the health community.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. You don't mess around with lead. As a pediatrician, as somebody with a public health background, lead is a potent, irreversible neurotoxin, and it impacts our most vulnerable children. And once it's in the bodies of our children, there's little that we can do. So it was from that point on that I kind of really started my crusade to see if the lead in the water was getting into the bodies of our children.
Yeah, and when you started that, by the next month you had already released your findings to the public, and unfortunately you were not well received. Can you tell us what happened when that? Yeah.
So, you know, after that night, we started doing research, and this was like a record research. I've never done a research project this quickly, and it's because we really didn't sleep. You know, it was not something you could sit on. It was not a 9-to-5 issue. We wanted to see, you know, what our children's lead levels were doing. So by late September, so just really a month later, we had our findings, and we saw this increase in children's, in the percentage of children with elevated lead levels, which was contrary to every trend that was happening in the nation, in the state, and even in the city of Flint. So we released these findings at a press conference, which is also something very unusual. You don't release medical research in press conference.
Yeah, exactly.
But very much we had this professional, this moral, ethical obligation to alert the community. And I felt great after this press conference. I'm like, yay, we're going to protect children. People are going to take precautions. And I felt great for maybe a half an hour, and then right away
you were just,
we were attacked,
dismissed,
called an unfortunate researcher, that I was causing near hysteria. So many different things. And we knew our numbers were right. We had checked, we had triple checked.
Yeah, you spent countless hours just trying to make that.
But when the whole state tells you you're wrong, it's hard not to second guess yourself. So, you know, there was definitely kind of a feeling of doubt of, you know, what have I done? I put my whole reputation, my career, my institution, my medical center at risk. But then quickly, you know, we regrouped and fought back. We're like, this is why we are right, and this is why, you know, you are wrong, and there is a serious problem here.
Well, yeah, and especially like early this year is when, you know, the Flint Water Crisis really started to get a lot of public and national attention, and people realized just the severity of this situation. And since then, you have been all across the world, you know, promoting and letting people know of how important this is. So, I mean, that's commendable, and, you know, it's a lot of hard work, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know, we haven't been hearing much about the Flint Water Crisis recently. So obviously the media's died down, and people think the problem's fixed, but it's not fixed. We are in our 3rd year in Flint where we cannot drink this water. So my kids in clinic, they turn on the tap and they cannot drink that water without a filter or using alternatives like bottled water. So we are very much still in the middle of this crisis. And, you know, Congress in D.C. has given $0 to Flint. So we have also, so I keep talking, and I will continue talking to everybody, because we have yet to really garner that support for our long-term recovery. Unlike a flood or a hurricane or another natural disaster, this is something we just can't clean up from. This is something that we may have to deal with for decades or generations. So we really need to keep talking about Flint so we can garner those resources to make sure our children not only recover but really thrive after after this disaster.
I mean, because even though they had the feds officially released that there are water filters being released to the public in Flint, but unfortunately, not everyone can get access to those or in time. But an issue like this happening in Flint, which is a big city, it could happen in any city, unfortunately, even here in West Bloomfield. But the good thing is, you are helping to alert people of this issue. And here in West Bloomfield, too, I mean, you are not sort of like a celebrated hero, I'd have to say. I mean, you have brought a lot of, honor and, I guess, a lot of appreciation for what you've done. So we want to thank you for that as well.
Yeah, I'm just doing my job. This is definitely my job as a pediatrician to take care of kids, and especially to take care of kids who are vulnerable and who need more attention than maybe other kids.
Exactly. Well, Dr. Mona, thank you again for being here, and thank you for doing all your hard work as well. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Jonathan.
Oh, once again, everybody, Dr. Mona, thank you for joining me today. But also, we just want to say, continue to look out for the Flint Water Crisis and help these people in Flint, because they still need the support and they still need this attention and all of our help. So please, everyone, continue to support them and keep them in your prayers. So.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, more on The Splash.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
I'm Stacy Pacini, caseworker for West Bloomfield Youth Assistance. West Bloomfield Youth Assistance provides confidential casework services to children and families living in the West Bloomfield School District. If your family or child is struggling, West Bloomfield Youth Assistance can help. For more information about West Bloomfield Youth Assistance programs and services, please visit www.wbyouthassistance.org or call 248-592-1278.
In the air, in the park, in your town, Civic Center TV keeps you up to date on everything going on in West Bloomfield. Go for a hike, meet the neighbors, take a splash, and explore all that our area has to offer. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash, everyone. I'm Jonathan Jackson. Legendary pioneer Henry Ford was known for his creativity and forward thinking, which are the basis of the Maker Faire Detroit in Dearborn, an event where hundreds of people come to show off their latest inventions, creations, and knowledge with the public. And this included one of our very own, Dan Krause of the West Bloomfield Cable Commission, who was there to interview some of the other makers at the fair.
Hi, this is Dan Krause from Civic Center TV. We're at the Maker Faire at the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan. They make amazing things here. Let's take a look at some of them.
The Maker Faire attracts hundreds of people with a wide range of talents, ideas, inventions, and solutions. This two-day festival offers unique bicycles, robot wars, and everything in between. Joe talks to us about the history of the famous big wheel bicycle.
This is an 1890 Columbia Volunteer. Volunteer was the model. It was made in Hartford, Connecticut by the Pope Manufacturing Company. It was just a play toy of the rich back then. Doctors, lawyers, judges. They played with it from about 1876 to 1892. And then the automobiles started to come out and they just, threw these away, and then they started playing with automobiles.
Next stop is the Power Tool Drag Racing Arena, where Brad Walsh gives us an inside look at this peculiar activity.
We're with Hive 13. We're a makerspace in Cincinnati, Ohio. We are continuing the torch of Power Tool Drag Racing, which was invented in San Francisco. For the majority of the races, we run stock belt sanders from Harbor Freight Tools. And we have a little relay connection, so each person pushes a button and then they get power and they zoom down the track. We use an Arduino Mega to handle the timing, and we have a winner and a loser, and we tell them how long it took to go down the track.
With the rising issue of kids spending too much time inside, Harry Arnold talks about the fun alternative to get kids outdoor while also learning about electronics.
This is a group of individuals, over 600 people in the metro area that like to fly drones, and we started about 3 years ago doing drone racing, FPV drone racing, It's a hybrid, so what you're doing is looking through goggles like these and seeing what's in front of your drone as you fly around the track. So it's completely immersive. You're working with electronics, modeling, design, and you're coupling that with a real outdoor activity. So it's really nice for something that kids can get in that'll get them a taste of design, engineering, and electronics.
Another stop on the tour of the Maker Faire is the giant model train display, where visitors got up close and personal with these tiny locomotives.
Well, this layout is designed to be portable. It comes apart in 8-foot section. It all fits into a trailer. They can come right up to it. You know, they can come right up to the edge. There's no barrier for them. So much development was because of the railroad. We have time zones and specific time just because of the railroad.
From tiny trains to huge machines, we continue to the Robot Wars Stadium, where patrons gathered to combine engineering and sport.
We're at the stadium right now where we've seen Robot Wars. This is an amazing display of what men can do to try to destroy each other's machines.
With help from people like radio guru Roger Rainey, drone operator Harry Arnold, and the many experts that we have spoken with today, kids have the opportunity to learn about and try all sorts of new things at the Maker Faire.
I hope you enjoyed yourself today. We've had a great time here at the Maker Faire in Dearborn, Michigan at the Henry Ford. Look at the bottom of the screen for the website for the Maker Faire. Dearborn, Michigan, I'm Dan Krause from Civic Center TV.
Thanks, Dan. And if you'd like to see even more footage from this year's Maker Faire, just visit civiccentertv.com/Maker Faire Detroit. We now turn to our other segment here on the show, our Person of the Week, where we acknowledge an individual within the community who is either helping or inspiring others. And this week's recipient is Pastor Tim Hoserland from Shepherd King Lutheran Church. Pastor Tim Hoserland has served at Shepherd King Lutheran Church since 2007. He's very active within the community, serving as both a volunteer chaplain for the West Bloomfield Fire Department and as president of the West Bloomfield Clergy and Community Forum, which are comprised of leaders throughout West Bloomfield who meet and coordinate events such as United We Walk. Furthermore, Hoserland also has served on the Lutheran Women's Missionary League English District and even performs a spiritual half-hour at Maple Grove Treatment Center in West Bloomfield throughout the year. A fun fact about Pastor Hoserland is he loves to garden and can often be found in the summer taking care of the community garden at Shepherd King, which produces a variety of fresh food for those in need. Due to his selfless attitude and unwavering service to our community, we've decided to award Pastor Hoserland with our Person of the Week. And if you or someone you know is providing a service to their community, then let us know by sending an email to the Splash at civiccentertv.com. We want to congratulate those who are making a difference in our area, and we appreciate any and all suggestions. Unfortunately, though, that's all the time we have for today. But as always, you can catch new episodes of The Splash every Monday at 6:30 and throughout the week for replays. And you can also look up previous episodes online at civiccentertv.com or follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook under Civic Center TV for more information. For all our friends in Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, and of course, West Bloomfield, I'm Jonathan Jackson, and we want to thank you for watching.